I'm deeply honored to have the opportunity to introduce Dr. Dipak Jain, Dean of INSEAD. Dean Jain had an illustrious career spanning nearly 3 decades, both as an educator and as an administrator. The reason we at ReachIvy titled the talk Living the Global Dream is because Dean Jain embodies this very phrase. He is a native of Tezpur, Assam, earned his bachelor's degree in mathematics and statistics from the Guwahati University and a degree in mathematical statistics from there as well. He then worked there for 5 years as a teacher and then proceeded to the University of Texas in Dallas to pursue his PhD. A marketing expert, Dean Jain joined Kellogg's faculty in 1986 and assumed the position of Associate Dean for Academic Affairs after a decade. In 2001, he took on the responsibility as the Dean of Kellogg till 2009. He has published 3 books and has written more than 60 articles in leading academic journals. Dean Jain also has a strong connection with Thailand. He's been a visiting professor at a university in Bangkok since 1989 and was appointed Foreign Affairs Advisor to the Prime Minister of Thailand in 2003. He served as a consultant at Microsoft, Novartis, American Express, Sony, Nissan, Motorola, and several other leading international companies. So you've literally lived the global dream. You were born in Tezpur and now you preside over this global institution. But can you take us back to early childhood years? Give us a glimpse of your early childhood.
If I reflect back to my days in Tezpur, where I was born and where I went to school, I could have never imagined that I would ever leave a town like Tezpur. And the first time I sat on a plane when I went to abroad, and my first flight was on a Boeing 747, because in Assam you never get a chance to sit on a plane within India. Even to get my visa, I had to take the train for 3 days to reach Delhi. But for some reason or other, my father had a hard time raising children, and we really grew up in very tough conditions. And in Tezpur, we didn't have a university or any good college. So when you have lack of resources, the best thing you can study is mathematics. Because for mathematics, what you need is a piece of paper and pencil. So I used to, during summer break, go to bookstores, and somebody said, oh, there is a topic called calculus. When you go to college, you will read it. I said, why wait till college? Go and get me a book over summer, read the book of calculus, studied on my own. So that's how I studied. The other thing is, I was very fortunate to have very good teachers. I had a hard time even buying textbooks for the class. So teachers at 3:30 in the afternoon would call me to their office, Dipak, ये किताब ले जाओ, शाम को पढ़ लेना, कल सुबह 7:30 बजे मुझे दे देना. So then somebody suggested to my father that since we did not have the resources to go IIT or any places, so I went to Guwahati University and studied there, and that was my first bus trip. कभी सोचा नहीं था कि उसके बाद one day I will be running United Airlines. I was on the board of United Airlines for many years. So you grow up in such conditions, but one thing I will tell you, never give up. For some reason, in a university level, the way you get a job is you have to have a PhD when you teach master students. But my university gave me a job saying that within 5 years you should finish your PhD. Since I was a gold medalist in bachelor's and master's, and as a whole state of Assam, I got the Best Educated Award in 1976. So I started teaching, and I tell you, I was 22 years old when I became a university professor. So I had to go and teach a class. This is teaching a course on business statistics to commerce student. I don't know anything about business. I knew something about statistics. And these are students who come in the evening to take class, MCOM classes. The average age of the class was 26. So I was slightly nervous. So I asked my chair, Mr. Sharma करके थे, बोला Sharma साहब, any piece of advice for me? He said, Dipak, I don't know anything about statistics, so I cannot tell you what you should teach. I said, no, I'm not asking about the subject. I'm just asking you, this is my first class I'm going to teach, any piece of advice. Tell you, I remember the day very well. He said something, at that time I didn't know what it meant. But when I reflect, it comes to me every day. He said a sentence. He said, Dipak, when your shadow becomes longer than your height, remember the sun is about to set. So don't get fooled by your shadow. Be yourself. So over these years, I have tried to be who I am. Never played a different role. Was Kellogg for 25 years. I speak the way I speak. It's for others to understand me. And I have maintained जो हमारे संस्कार हैं, but that to me is so powerful. And people would respect you more for who you are, not what you are trying to be. And the university still recognizes, I will tell you another story, that I started a tutoring service for all foreign students at UT Dallas. I said, I've been blessed to come here, so I should help other students who are willing to come here. And students who are already here. So I used to teach mathematics to the undergraduate students, all free. And I asked all my doctoral students कि तुमको मुझे हफ्ते में 2 घंटे देने होंगे, and that tutoring service is still going on there. So this is the best way to repay back.
So talking of reality,
Thank you.
the reality many of the students in the room are facing, the ones we meet at ReachIvy, is where should I study? Should I study in India, America, Europe? You've been a student in India and America. You've been an administrator in America as well as in Europe. Could you compare and contrast the 3 geographies for us, both as a student and as an administrator, please?
Most of the US schools are very good. You get very good quality education. Teachers are sincere. The difference is the quality of classmates. When you are at Stanford, Princeton, all of them are so brilliant. When you are other schools, they may not be at your level, but still at that time you have to do what is best for you. So my advice to people is, do try, but wherever you get, make the best of where you go. Not the best place you go, but make the best you go, and you will do it. Because hum sab mein, we have the basic ingredient and the desire to excel. Because we grow up under competitive conditions. And when you grow up under competitive conditions, you always try to excel. और ये जो भावना है excellence की, that will drive you.
So in addition to the rankings rat race, the business schools are now touting themselves as global. And INSEAD is actually touted as world's best leading global business school. How is INSEAD more global than the other business schools?
In the absence of any information, if you are sitting in the middle of the world, how would you judge schools? You look at the rankings. Because this is like a screening device. Now, different publications rank business schools on different dimensions. On some dimension we would come better, some dimension another school would come better. So rankings to me is not something you ignore, but ranking is not something you get attached to. And that is very, very important. So US schools started attracting talent, and we said, I remember Vivekanand said many years ago that if students cannot come to you, you need to go where the students are. So you need to go and see, if they cannot come to INSEAD or to Kellogg, you need to go where they are. So what I like about INSEAD and what attracted me was, of all the schools I know US, and we have a consortium of 7 schools, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Kellogg, Chicago, Columbia and Wharton. Just like there is a G7, we call it our B7, and we deans meet twice a year, very officially. INSEAD to me is far more global than any of these schools. First, we have this strict policy that we don't want to admit more than X% from one particular country. So I have 1,008 students that started this year from 83 different countries. So first is global competition. And that's why some people were asking me, we would not start an MBA program in India. Because here not only you will get 100%, but 110% Indians. And that's not the philosophy of the school.
So it definitely sounds like a great place to study at, and many of ReachIvy students here in the audience are also aspiring candidates. What does INSEAD look for in its candidates, and how does that differ from what other business schools are looking for?
We are really looking for diversity, that is for sure, and that puts India at a disadvantage, but still India is the largest segment. We have a 10% limit. Last year for India we went to 11-12%. That's the highest that we have, but we have to be fair to our moral principle that we have in mind. Second, as most schools, the standard scores etc. you look for, but we want one thing that differentiates, and this I have learned from my admission director, is global experience and the need to have a global experience. That yes, people are interested in doing that part is emphasized more in the essays, in the talks and the others, because that is where INSEAD thinks that tomorrow the future leaders of the world, if you ask them where did they get the degree, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're here, they say we were trained at INSEAD. And that is something that we look for very carefully. We have a slightly longer work experience history than other schools because we are a one-year program and we don't go for specializations. So it's a 10-month period, 2 months each period, 5 periods in a year. So this is a general management program where students are coming to learn the basic skills, tools of management, be with a global audience and be prepared for the challenges ahead. So my only advice is any color you can give to your global reach, whether what you did, some projects, etc., that they really look for.
So you were born in Tezpur and you're now presiding over a global world-class institution with campuses in 3 different geographies. Just your last words of advice for the audience, and how do they follow in your footsteps? How do they live the global dream that you've lived so well?
You never follow anyone's footsteps, you follow your own footsteps. My first thing is be yourself, as I said, but believe in yourself. बहुत जरूरी, and believe in your friends. Don't hesitate to ask for help and don't say no to people asking for something to do. And don't think that first time you get rejected or others, that is the end. Life is about trying, and people who try would eventually get it. And people who are finishing their high school, people who are working right now, don't try to create a sense of rush that I want to do it this year and this year only, because 1 year right now would not make a difference, but 1 year in the proper school with the proper training would make a huge difference. Just remember one thing, wherever you work, do your best, because people are watching you and people want to know how sincere you are and how you are liked by your colleagues, because they would speak to others. So which dimension of your, or which quality dimension would take you to the top, you don't know. So my only advice to all of you this afternoon is keep doing your best, believe in yourself, and don't get into a stage of depression ki kuch nahi hone wala hai, ye hai. Be happy with what you have. Be cheerful with what you have, because there are many people who don't even have what you have. And what you have, try to give it back to others. Someone would be there to take you to far greater heights. I have been blessed that way all through my life, but we have to work, and the best way to work is to earn the respect. Nobody gives you respect. You have to earn it, and you earn it through your hard work. Thank you, everyone.